Hey, Isabella, did you see that the parent company of Forever 21 has filed for a second Chapter 11 bankruptcy and is poised to liquidate and close all 354 remaining locations?
I did kind of know that because every time I walk past Forever 21, it always says bankrupt.
I mean,
Not bankrupt, I'm sorry. They're doing like a store-wide sale.
But I thought that's just what Forever 21, the whole thing's a floor-wide. I mean, it's on the floor, literally.
Yeah, but if they have like
sale.
a million signs and it says store closing in every single location, you're bankrupt.
I can't believe they put a sign outside that said bankrupt.
I know, we're bankrupt, please
Bankrupt!
buy.
Hello, and welcome to Casuals, the podcast that's like technically a sports podcast, but like not really. I'm your host, Katie Nolan. Today, our guest, I will be joined in a little bit by Michelle Wolf, very funny stand-up comedian and a dear friend, and also like a long-distance runner, which I think is wild. We talk about that a little bit. We will get there in a second. First, I have to tell you that if you want to reach us, you can do so by email, casualswithkatienolan@gmail.com. Voicemail is 646-801-0043. On IG and TikTok, we are at Casuals, the podcast. Couple of bits of housekeeping that we have to do here up top in regards to emails and feedback we've received. Just a little bit of housekeeping. Don't freak out. It's not a yap, just called housekeeping. First, we got an email from, I think it's Kate Hagemeyer. She's an intern for the live mascot program at Drake University. Now, I don't know if that's something you can major in or if that's just an after-school program. But basically, she said, as you may know, the NCAA currently prohibits live mascots from attending March Madness until the Final Four, because we talked about in our March Madness episode last episode that Griff the second, little bulldog, that we wanted to see at the games. She said that a rule has kept Griff from supporting Drake men's basketball for the past 3 years in a row, despite them consistently making the tournament. A petition was recently started to change this rule, and it's already gained over 1,200 signatures. She said, given your platform and love for sports, we'd love you to help in getting the word out and convincing the NCAA to allow Griff at March Madness. Now, producers, you were telling me some numbers, some stats of teams that have live mascots.
This is an adorable NCAA tournament. We have 5 Bulldogs and 1 Terrier that could potentially be on site for the Final Four. They can't all make it, so we're going to miss out on some live dogs no matter what.
You can't have a tiger?
Where do you put the tiger during the game?
Well, here's what I don't get is like if you can have a dog, then why can you only have a dog in the Final Four? If there's only 6 teams that even have a dog, why are you limiting our chances to see the dog? If it were a tiger,
it's silly, and that's why people need to sign the petition.
I know. I'm just thinking through it. If it's a tiger, I'm like, all right, listen, we can't all be bringing our bears and tigers and wombats to the games. That'd be crazy. It's not a zoo, it's a basketball tournament. But if it's just dogs and they're literally all bulldogs and then 1 terrier, what a dumb rule. Put a service dog vest on it and bring it wherever you want to, like everybody in Hoboken does.
Handsome Dan at Yale is working just as hard as every other dog mascot, but let's be realistic, Yale is most likely not making the Final Four. Why is that Handsome Dan's fault? Why does he not get to travel and go to the games?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Don't punish him for being handsome. Also, what a name to live up to. Imagine if you're born, you inherit the Handsome Dan legacy, and
Handsome Dan 19. Handsome Dan the 19th.
And you are actually ugly. I mean, it hasn't happened yet. But imagine if it did. If you were like, I can't live up to this. I wish the one before my predecessor was named okay looking Dan. But that's what we call my fiance. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Psh, he's so hot. I was just joking. It's just a joke. So go. How can they find that petition, Brady? Is there
I'm going to put it in the episode description. I don't know why I'm pointing down.
That's
no
okay.
one can see me,
I love that, though. I like that you're doing
and subscribe. Hit the bell button.
Hit the button right here. Smash that button, you guys. Another message from a listener. Oh, thank you, Kate, by the way, for reaching out. Also, Andrew Cohen sent me a message about our March Madness bracket as well, saying that in cool player names, he wasn't being mean and he wasn't correcting me, but he was like, just so you know, you could have mentioned Speedy Claxton, who went to Hofstra and was in the 2000 tournament. Now, currently, the head coach of Hofstra. For those who don't know, Hofstra's my alma mater. And so, it's not often that we're in the conversation when it comes to the tournament. So absolutely right, Andrew. I should have mentioned that. And thank you for letting me know. Speedy Claxton is a very cool name. More emails we've been getting is about merch. We're getting a lot of people reaching out merch. Specifically, our Papa Nooner. People are saying they would buy like a Papa Nooner t-shirt or a hoodie. Here's my thing with merch. When we launched this podcast, Sirius was like, we have people that help handle this. We can launch with this if you want. And my whole thing is like, let's make a podcast first. Let's make sure we like the podcast before we start pushing merch on our listeners. Let's first amass a group of listeners. So that's sort of my rationale with why we don't have merch right now. If the demand appears to be really high, we can make merch. I just feel like I hate when podcasts are like, buy my shirt. And it's like, you have 3 episodes of a podcast out. Why do you have a shirt? So we have ideas and there's like, stuff to execute on. And the team here is really great. So merch may be coming soon. I would say give it like months or so, but it is something we're planning on doing. We're not trying to be mean to you. Same thing with YouTube videos. I feel like everybody's yelling at me to do a thing that like it is in the plan to do. It's just we're not at that part of the plan yet. So I just wanted to let you guys know that merch will be coming. I just wanted to have a good podcast first. And I feel like we're basically there. Last bit of housekeeping. This is an update on a previous position taken by the podcast. Every now and then, I feel like it's important when a story develops to check back in and go, hey, we were pretty loudly pro this person, and I want to now. So this is about the that huge story we talked about, the Bad Baby Alabama Barker beef. When we spoke about it, it was mostly Isabella and I, the young ones. Blink, blink. Blink, blink. And we were talking about how Bad Baby basically won the rap beef, right? Between the two of them, because Alabama Barker can't really rap and she was pretending that basketball was football. It was a whole thing. I just wanted to be clear. Bad Baby has since dropped more tracks. It seems she fancies herself a bit of a Kendrick Lamar, despite being a they, not an us. But she dropped a couple more tracks, and I just wanted to update our position. We're not like pro Bad Baby on this podcast. She's still like, she stinks as a person, and I just wanted to be, sometimes you need a Bad Baby to keep other bad babies from forming. And I think that's what she did with the Alabama Barker thing. I think she served a very valuable purpose, and I thank her for that. I just feel like, and that's enough with you now as well. And we've heard enough from you. And Alabama Barker, stay quiet. This is not about you. You've been dealt with. But I listened to one of these tracks, and a couple lines in there reminded me who Bad Baby is and why she rose to fame and the problems that we had with her in the first place. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew we weren't out here just being like loving Bad Baby. Just a personal stance that I wanted to say so that everybody knows. Today's yap is kind of disjointed. There was like a lot of little stories that I felt like we needed to get to. So rather than like one big long yap about one thing, I do have a thing I've got a strong opinion on that we're going to close this out with. But first, there's a couple headlines in here. Deshaun Watson got engaged. So saw a lot of people surprised she said yes. Personally, I'm surprised he asked. The New York Giants are supposedly talking to Jameis Winston. I think they're meeting with him today. And of course, they have a quote unquote standing offer for Aaron Rodgers. So it seems like it's possible that there's other candidates, but it seems like the Giants are It could be Jameis Winston or Aaron Rodgers. And if I were given that decision, I would choose the Bear. Here's the thing. I was watching a little bit of baseball, and the Yankees have a pitcher whose last name is Schlittler. And I just want to say, as a Red Sox fan, I'm not mature enough for the Yankees to have a pitcher named Schlittler. There is too much to do with that. And so hopefully that's not a guy I'm going to see a lot of, because I won't be proud of the way that I handle it. Paul George is out for the season. Written another way, Paul George back to podcasting. I don't know if anybody saw this. I think we're going to probably dive into this in more depth in the next episode, because my God, there's so much here. But the Mavericks ran this like insane looking AI hype video on their Jumbotron. And there's a lot. Again, I think we're going to break it down bit by bit next episode, hopefully with a guest. But there's a moment in it where AI AD has two guns. It's like very cowboy themed. And AD's got these two guns. They're both pointed at his head. The guy's been in Dallas for like a month and a half, 2 months maybe. Already two guns to his head. Pretty wild.
This is AD Anthony Davis, who
yes.
got traded to the Mavs in the Luka Doncic trade. Yes.
Oh, good. That was good. That was helpful.
It could have been after death.
That's true. You're right, guys. Thank you for clarifying. There's a former NFL receiver, Rodney Adams. He didn't do a lot in the NFL, but he used to be a receiver, and he joined the Ultimate Frisbee team in Colorado. He was going to be the first former NFL player to play Ultimate Frisbee. And then like right before the season started, he left, and now he's joining a pickleball team. I don't know. I feel like this guy's just trying progressively more annoying personality traits. I feel like next he's going to just like do CrossFit. That's got to be his next thing. His quote that he said when he was joining the Ultimate Frisbee team, he said, "I just saw a bunch of people running, jumping, catching Frisbees and thought, that's kind of like football. It's also kind of like being a dog." And then this headline, Disturbed, the band Disturbed, from Chicago, had a concert at the United Center where the Bulls play, and indoor pyrotechnics were used, and they accidentally burned the Bulls championship banners. So they had to take them down, and they're not going to be up for the rest of the season, I guess, because of Disturbed. I have a horrendous joke for this.
I'm so excited.
I'm debating it. This is me going, it's better written. It's truly better written. But because this is an audio medium, I'm going to deliver it very slowly. And then just picture it, if you could, like written down. It's a lot funnier. But that was a real ooh, uh-oh. From Down with the Sickness. Ooh, uh-oh.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. But for the last syllables. Do you get it?
I like
ooh,
it.
uh-oh. Thank you.
I love that still had Chris's accent. That's amazing.
It's really incredible. It endures. And then, okay, lastly, this is kind of my yappiest of the headlines. There's a second baseman that plays for Michigan named Mitch Voigt. And in a game the other day, he hit an RBI triple. And then he pretended to, as his celebration, he was at third base, as one is when they hit a triple, or when, they have a rich dad. He pretended to snort the line as if it were cocaine. He blocked his nose and like he was snorting the foul line as his celebration. People went nuts. I saw a lot of people loving it, but clearly a lot of people didn't, because he had to post a Notes app apology yesterday. He said, "I would like to apologize for my actions on third base yesterday. I made an immature decision in the heat of the moment. The gesture I made does not reflect my character, the household I was raised in, or the Block M that I represent in any kind of way. I take full responsibility for what I did, and I'm truly sorry to all those who I've negatively impacted by doing this." I am going to defend Mitch Voigt here because, listen, first of all, the number one complaint I saw people say is that they were worried about the kids. What will the kids think? The kids, you're going to make the kids want to do cocaine. I don't know if you've heard this, but the kids not watching baseball. That's kind of a huge part of the problem. The kids aren't really watching a lot of baseball. So I feel like this is a straw man that doesn't exist. Secondly, on the list of drugs that kids could do in the year of our Lord 2025, Coke is like pretty far down the list of concern. Have you heard of Galaxy Gas? They can order it online. It's like flavored whippets. The kids are smoking weed that they can buy in a gas station. Okay? So they don't care about Coke like that. They're already, most of them, on Adderall. So I wouldn't worry so much about Coke. Maybe we make it so you can't buy fake weed at a Sunoco. And then lastly, if I may, my most artistic point, I don't interpret this celly as let's do Coke. It doesn't feel like Mitch Voigt is like, let's all do Coke. That's too simple for me. What I see is a man who loves baseball and the way that it feels to be good at it so much that he wants to snort a line of it. Baseball is the drug, obviously. Like, have we lost our appreciation of metaphor in this country? He was saying, like, whoa, it's like drugs being good at baseball. And so I think it's a basic interpretation to say that he's encouraging people to do cocaine. I find that to be insulting to my intelligence as a baseball fan. And I think, Mitch, you should delete what you were clearly forced to write into your notes app. I don't think you have anything to be sorry for. I think it was an electric celebration, and I think you should do more of it. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and get into our guest. She is, you may know her from what, you guys? Like the White House Correspondents' Dinner. What year was that? I don't remember. She's a very famous stand-up comic. She has specials on Netflix and I'm sure other places. A friend of mine, a friend of the family, if you will. You can currently find, she does a podcast, quote unquote, and I'm putting it in quotes because what she does is so much harder than what I do, which is that she's basically writing 40 minutes of new stand-up every week, and she posts it live and then also posts it afterwards for you to consume. So if you go to punchup.live, which is just a good website I feel like a lot of people don't know about, where you can follow your favorite comedians and the content that they make. First thing I want to talk to you about, because I don't know how many people know this about you. You are a psychopath because you run ultra marathons.
That is not the only reason I'm a psychopath, but it is one of the reasons I'm a psychopath. I dabble in the ultra marathon running world. There are other people. I mean, I do it. I've done a couple to just kind of see if I could. I like the crazy challenge of it all, but there's people that are actually like professional ultra marathon runners that can run them at like disturbingly fast times. And like the one I did in Utah was like, I think it was 50 miles, and I think I did it in like just under 13 hours. And there's other people that can do that in like 4 hours. It's crazy.
13 hours with no food?
No, it'll say, so this is actually like the kind of really nice thing about ultra marathons. They have these little aid stations set up throughout the course that are like little, just like pop-up tents, and they have like a bunch of food there. And like, because you're running for so long, it's like, they'll have like watermelon and like, but like gummy bears, quesadillas. Like at night, if it's cold, they'll have like chicken broth and like burrito. Like they have everything. Like you can like fully eat a full meal at these aid stations, and it's really nice.
Do you like
except for the one
stop, or do you just run and drink your? Oh my god, I would pour my chicken broth all over myself.
You stop and kind of like, you know, you eat a bit. You might like roll out your legs a little.
Yeah.
You like refill like your pack with like, you know, your bottles and stuff. You normally have like, if you're like really into it, you'll have like people at your aid station that are kind of like helping you to like get through it. So they'll like kind of refresh you. Some people even like, I mean, some ultramarathons are really long and you'll like actually nap a little.
What?
Because some of them are like 100 or 200 milers, or like there's these ones that are just like 48 or 72 hour races where it's just seeing how far you can go in 72 hours. And so like they take like little cat naps here and there. It's really a wild community.
Why?
Well, you know, it's like any sport where you're just, I don't know.
It's
Actually,
not.
It's not like any
it's
sport.
not like any sport. It's just like it's like a tiny part of every other sport, but it's just that. It's just the running.
It's people. I really think it's people. Just a lot of people seeing if they can do it.
Yeah,
like
it's like Naked and Afraid.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you're like, there's no prize money. Why the hell would you? And they just want to see if they can.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if you saw the preview for the next season of Naked and Afraid.
I didn't.
But it's this guy and it's this woman who doesn't have legs. And she is just, I mean, I got to see this episode because I really want to know how she does, because that seems hard. I mean, with all your clothes on in an urban setting.
I didn't even think about the naked part.
Yeah, I didn't think about that either. And then I told one of my guy friends and he was like, what about her vagina? And I was like, do you guys think about anything else? Is it the first thing you think about all the time?
I think so. Unfortunately, I do think so.
I'm a woman. I was just like, her arms are going to get tired. How's she going to reach stuff?
Speaking of what you think about, when you're on an ultra marathon, what the hell goes on in your brain? Is that where you're like writing your stand-up? If you're running for that long, I'm fascinated by this idea of people running and their brain being full of anything other than just a constant like, please stop doing this.
It's, I don't know. It's kind of like a wild range of thoughts that go through. Like at the beginning, you might just kind of be like cruising in your own brain like you would during a normal run. But then, I mean, there's other times when you're like, you can't stop. You're a fucking loser. You know, you might, I mean, at least me, I'll bully myself a little bit. Like, if you can't finish this, you'll never write another joke again.
Though they are unrelated. The two things entirely unrelated.
Entirely unrelated. I could never run again, and I'm pretty sure I'd still be able to write jokes.
Yeah.
But, I mean, who knows? I don't want to try.
Let's not even test it.
But, like, there is a point where you get to where you're just like, I got to get through. I got to finish. I can't, like... I don't know, you kind of get into this, it's like not even a little bit related to the runner's high. It's just kind of this like, I don't know. A lot of people call it the pain cave.
What?
You go into the pain cave and you're just sort of like, you like rationalize sitting in a lot of pain for a long period of time where you're just like, I'm in the pain cave, let's get into it. And you just like, I don't know. You try to like enjoy being in the pain cave, I guess.
Huh.
You gotta like, there's like Courtney Dauwalter. She is a super, super fast ultra marathoner. She does like 100-mile and 200-mile races. And she's like, I mean, she's running them at like ridiculously fast mile paces for the amount of miles she's going. And she talks about the pain cave a lot, where she's like, you know, she's just like, yeah, you get in the pain cave and then you kind of cruise around in it.
Sick.
And then you get out of it and you eat a couple burritos and everything's fine.
You're sick.
Except everything's not fine. When you finish an ultra marathon, one of the most disturbing things is that like afterwards, your body just like sucks in everything. Like it, like all the water, all the food, and like you would think like, oh, I just ran like 50 miles. And then like you'd go to weigh yourself and you'd be like, oh my God, and I'm like 5 pounds lighter. No, you do an ultra marathon and it like, you like your body just hangs on to everything because I think it thinks it's in like a crisis.
Yeah.
And you go to weigh yourself and you're like, I'm 10 pounds heavier?
Your body's like, something must be wrong. Otherwise, why would this be happening to me? Okay, so cool. So you spend 50 miles running and you get fatter. That's a really good pitch for people who might be interested in trying ultra marathoning.
I think your body's just like, what's happening? Are we running? Are we ever going to eat again? Are we ever going to stop running? What do I need to do right now?
Do you pee? You must have to pee yourself while you run, right? That's like a marathon. That's regular size marathon. People do that.
You like go to the side of the trail and you just kind of squat and pee.
Yeah.
And I squatted and pooped too, if you really want to know that.
I didn't, but thank you for telling me.
Yeah. Well, you know, here we are.
Funny enough, Dan told me that one of the most fascinating things about you is someone can be on the phone with you and not even realize that you're running the whole time.
Yeah.
Which is not possible for me. But also, I think Dan thinks that someone can be on the phone with him while he's pooping and they won't know. And I have to tell him that, like, Dan, I think they can tell. I think they can hear that. I think you shouldn't probably call your agent at that point of the day.
I feel like there's a distinct bathroom echo.
Yes, very obvious. And there's also just like just the cadence of it. You're like, why don't we just... It's crazy you think they're just going, he must be in a hallway. They know what you're doing, and they have a right to be offended. I don't know if they are, but they could be. It wouldn't be their fault. Since you're a runner, we figured we'd start with what, to me, seems like it's been a giant story over the last few days. I just looked into it because, I have to inform on this podcast. Not really sure why everybody's going nuts about it, but did you see this story about the high school track athlete that's now been charged with battery after a video of her hitting a competitor with her baton during a relay went viral? Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I did. I saw it. I follow a lot of track and field, and I follow all the track and field Instagram people and different accounts. And they all were talking about it. And the thing is, if you look at it from one angle, it really looks like she whacked this girl on the head for no reason.
And that's the angle we all saw first, was that one. Yeah.
If you look at it from another angle, it looks like maybe her hand, like that she did kind of get like stuck behind, and she was trying to like get out of the way and just like, I don't know, whatever. It's hard to say. She says it wasn't intentional. The woman who got hit was just like, we just want an apology and also a restraining order.
Yeah. Even though apparently they don't live that close. I don't know Virginia that well, but they don't seem to live that close. So for those who don't know, it's high schoolers. These are high school girls, which is why I think it's weird how much everybody on the internet wants to talk about it. It's like, this is, at the end of the day, you're all circulating video of high school girls and talking about high school girl drama, but whatever. It's Alayla Everett and Kaylin Tucker. Alayla is the one who was accused of bopping Kaylin on the head. They're running the 4x200 meter relay at the state finals, March 4th. They're like neck and neck around a corner, and as they're coming out of the curve, Tucker is hit by Everett's baton and stumbles off the field in apparent pain. So I guess Everett's team gets DQ'd, and Tucker is diagnosed with a concussion, and then according to her, possible fractured skull.
That is a really hard hit. That's a really hard hit to get a fractured skull.
Well, and also possible. I feel like there's one way to know.
Yeah, you just get a little bit of an X-ray.
And then you check and see if there's a fracture there. So is it fractured or not? We still can't really say, but it's possible, I guess. Then they both, the most interesting part of the story to me is that they then both seem to go to their local affiliates and just press tour about this incident, which doesn't seem like good advice they're maybe receiving from legal counsel.
No, it seems, I feel like I don't know. I mean, with social media, it's hard to tell because like, I feel like the story was out there and then like both of them wanted to be like, this is what happened. But also it was kind of nice because I think the one maybe was Alayla. I think she must be from like the Newport News, like Norfolk area, because I think it was on Wavy News.
It was. I love Wavy News. I've learned about it from this story. What a great name. WAVY.
Yeah. And so, I went to William & Mary, which is in Williamsburg. I have family in Newport News. So like that was the news, like that's where my grandparents live. So I watched Wavy News as a kid. And now there's a Wavy News anchor whose name is Michelle Wolf. And I get Google alerts for all these Wavy News stories that she reports on.
Amazing. Did she report on this?
No, she didn't. I don't think she does sports.
Rude.
But that's a very weird side tangent. But anyway, I don't know. It's really hard to tell what actually happened. I feel bad, definitely feel bad for the girl that got hit in the head. That seems terrible.
Yes.
And then the girl, if she says she didn't do it, and on purpose, I don't know. What are we supposed to, what's supposed to happen to this lady? Like she's, 17, 16. She's in the heat of the moment. I don't know.
She got disqualified. Like she didn't get to win, states.
Yeah. And her whole team got disqualified.
Right.
So she probably feels pretty crappy about that. And I just feel like we forgive men for like all these things all the time. And like, whatever violence they're just like, well, it's just in the heat of the moment. And then like a woman does it and they're like, is she actually a murderer?
Burn her at the stake.
Yeah.
I think,
and I'm like, why don't we just let the woman who got hit, if she says all she wants was an apology and this other woman gives her an apology, can we just leave it at that and stop following these two high school girls around?
Right. Let's maybe, as a general rule, let's follow high school girls' stories a little less closely, I feel.
Yes.
I feel like maybe we don't have to know everything. Okay, March Madness. We're about to jump into it next week. This week. Oh my God, it's this week. William and Mary, your alma mater, made their first tournament.
Are we in it?
Yeah, in the women's tournament. That's their first time in any of the NCAA tournaments, men's or women's. Pretty exciting.
Wow, good for us.
Isn't that exciting?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You obviously
That's
knew that
very
you
surprising.
guys, you beat Campbell in the CAA championship game, which has nothing to do with an agency, but it is the first thing I thought.
It's Colonial Athletics Association, which is, I don't know, it's a kind of shitty group of schools, to be honest.
Yeah. But congrats to them, you know?
But good job, William and Mary. Very proud of you guys.
This says William and Mary is a 16 seed in the upcoming NCAA tournament and takes on 16-seeded High Point. That's true? 2 16s? Oh, because it's a first four contest, so it's playing game. So Thursday at 9, televised nationally on ESPN2. Oh, you're not here, so you probably can't watch it.
Well, no, I can watch TV illegally through a VPN.
Oh. Bad boys.
But normally
bad
it doesn't
boys.
include live sports. But shout out to Spectrum. If you can make it easier for me to legally stream your content, that would be much appreciated.
We would appreciate it. Did you see the controversy in the men's bracket about North Carolina?
I saw it when your producer sent me the information and I looked it up.
TV magic, everybody. The announcement the University of North Carolina was headed to the NCAA tournament continued to draw controversy on Monday. The Tar Heels were selected as the last team to get into the tournament during the NCAA selection show, ahead of some teams that experts considered had stronger resumes. The selection is sending shockwaves across the country as West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey is calling for an investigation into the process. He said, quote, West Virginia deserved to be in the NCAA tournament. This was a miscarriage of justice and robbery at the highest levels. At the heart of the controversy is North Carolina Athletic Director Bubba Cunningham, who is the chairman, I don't know why I said chairman, like he's the guy who brings the chair in, of the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee. But Cunningham says, I'm going to call him Bubba, because if your name's Bubba, you're going by Bubba. He said that he's not part of any of that debate that included UNC. The part of the rules is that he leaves the room when they discuss UNC. So really, he threw his guy under the bus, Keith Gill, who's the vice chairman. He said, talk to Keith, because I was not there. And Keith was like, everything was above board. Interesting to note, though, as AD, Bubba would receive a $104,000 bonus if UNC makes the tournament, and they did. So,
all right. Well, I have a couple things about this. First of all, we all know if the boss leaves the room, then obviously nothing bad could happen because there's no threat to you or your job security at all.
No.
If something, it's just, I wasn't even in the room. It does not matter.
Right.
That doesn't matter at all. Also, if your name's Bubba, this guy is drinking some sort of Kentucky bourbon, like a mint julep all the time.
He's got a copper mug at these meetings.
Yeah, he's definitely cheating on stuff. Like this guy is, I don't know if there's a single Bubba who we could be like straight shooter. We'd be like, you can trust this guy's going to cheat. But my biggest problem with this whole story is that UNC is like known for being in the tournament, right? Not even just being in the tournament, like winning it often, or at least being in the Final Four. So to give their athletic director a $104,000 bonus for making the tournament really just seems like you should be in it. Like, you're a basketball school. How are you getting such a huge bonus? And why is it going to the athletic director? What did you have to do with the team being that good anyway?
That's most college athletic stuff where I'm like, this guy didn't even do anything.
Yeah, Bubba didn't do anything. Bubba did nothing.
This does feel,
and I do want to
because
backtrack on the Bubba name for a second, because I do think Bubba Gump was probably an upstanding guy.
Yeah, but he's no longer with us.
But upstanding.
So, yeah, of course. Is Bubba short for something? Is it like like
a Bikel.
Bubbathin. I think it's Bubbathin. Yeah, I feel like this feels like Bubba planned on getting that $104,000 bonus, built it into his budget for the year, financially for his like personal budget, and then when they found out that they might be on the bubble, he was like, "Well, we need to." It's not really a bonus. I assumed we were getting it, so I need that $104,000. So I'm gonna step out of this room, and you guys are gonna do what I need you to do. So
yeah.
I guess the argument is that they had a lot of other schools like West Virginia and Indiana had more quad 1 wins. I don't get into college sports scheduling like that. It just bores me to death. But it does feel like if that's a thing that matters, then it's weird that it wasn't West Virginia. But I would say also weird, if not weirder, that the governor is already getting involved and giving a very impassioned speech about how his school deserved to be in. Like, it's not going to change anything.
It's not going to change anything. They can have whatever investigation they want to have. And as, you know, the governor of West Virginia, I got to believe there's bigger fish to fry in this current moment.
Right? I could probably point to a couple fish that need frying that have nothing to do with any of the tournaments. While we're at UNC, I feel like we should just take a quick moment.
Great.
Because I'd love to know your thoughts on the Jordan of it all. Bill Belichick, new head coach of the UNC football program. His 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson. The news this week, the newer news, I guess it was probably last week, is that Belichick requested that Jordan be looped in on all of his emails. The email, I believe, was from like the social department of the UNC program. So it's not like he's asking her to be on his football emails. I imagine she's probably running his social media because he is 72, I think. He's way up there. So I think that's not as crazy. But I don't know if you saw the pictures also in the news this week
on the beach
of the beach yoga.
I love a disgusting relationship. Every time, I mean, and they happen often because old men are disgusting and young women get caught up in it. And I hate it on both ends. First of all, I would be willing to bet a good amount of money that she's having sex with one of the UNC football players.
Alleged.
I'm alleging it. I would bet money on it because she is their age. And I'm sure that, you know, she sees Bill's body, which looks like he has eaten beans out of a can for his every day for his whole life.
He does have campfire body for a guy who like lives in a house. You're like, what are you doing?
His like fanciest outfit is a sweatshirt with the sleeves cut off.
But he's doing all this yoga now, Michelle. He might be getting in shape.
This guy's not doing yoga. He's farting in a room. This whole relationship is like so gross. She looks, I mean, she's already gotten work done, I think, which like always is very disturbing. She looks like her face looks like not a real face. And she's 24, which always makes me very sad.
Yes.
And then I can't imagine what they talk about or how they, other than like her giving him blowjobs, which is even disgusting to think about.
Could you not even say it? Let's cut that out. That's like a nightmare. A nightmare to even think about.
I mean, you know, they're both, one of them is an adult and one of them is,
she's 24.
Technically by the numbers.
Technically an adult. Technically an adult. She came out in defense of the age gap recently too, being like, basically leave us alone. And I understand that being her position. What I don't understand being her position is the way that she's laying on Bill Belichick as he extends her up into the... Why am I seeing so many pictures of them on the beach? I had no idea until this relationship. If you had asked me, has Bill Belichick ever seen a beach? I'd say no. I'd say absolutely not. The guy does not vacation. He does not relax. He does not lounge. But I've seen multiple pictures.
If he does go to the beach, he keeps his shirt on. He wears his shirt in the water 100%.
Yes. But since they've started dating, she dressed up as a mermaid for Halloween and he was a fisherman and they did that beach photo shoot. Now I'm looking at another beach photo shoot of them and I feel like I'm learning a lot about Bill Belichick. And
maybe he's like, after his whole Patriots debacle and not being able to get hired by another NFL team, maybe he's, I don't know, trying to find the fun side of life. Maybe he's sort of like, I don't have to really coach these kids.
Right.
And he's like, I'm just going to.
They'll respect me for having her and they'll listen to me because of my championships. I don't really have to do anything else. It's possible.
The beach thing, I don't know, maybe they had the camera set up or there was a third person taking pictures.
I had never even thought of who is taking the pictures because they are framed.
Like, is there an assistant who is there?
There's got to be. There has to be.
And I would love to talk to the assistant under some sort of, I'm sure there's
NDA.
an NDA. But
I would love to talk to Bill's adult children.
Who are definitely older than this
specifically
woman,
his daughter, right? Who is older than, I would say significantly older.
Jesus.
I would love, I'll read, just for the record, I'd read that book. Like, I'm just letting her know that if she ever wants to chat about it, I'd be interested in knowing more. We must say there is, of course, a however slim possibility that these two are just in love. That they really met on a plane and that really Jordan just reignited in Bill a lust for life and he ignited in her interest
money for life.
Right. And it's possible these two are just so happy. And you know what? I wish them all it's hard out here to be alone and they've got each other. So at least there's that. It's just wild. Everything I hear about him, I'm like, that's even crazier than the last thing. What's going on here? But
I feel like it's always a certain type of man who's like, because, women as we age, I feel like we just keep getting, we're like, no, these are my opinions and I'm going to tell them to you. And I feel like men of a certain type of man never actually wants to hear your opinion. He just wants you to be like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Wow.
And it gets to a point in your life as a woman where you're just like, you're not cool. What you're saying is stupid and you don't take responsibility for anything. And he's like, well, I don't want to hear that.
You're doing too much of this. Go back to saying, wow.
I would rather balance a young lady on my legs at the beach in exchange for her going, wow, that's a really cool story, Bill, than be an adult man.
Yeah. Well, to each their very own. Golf news, big golf news, you guys. 15-time major champion Tiger Woods, who's 49 years old, underwent surgery on Tuesday. I think this is last Tuesday, not today. After rupturing his left Achilles tendon while ramping up training and practice at home, he announced in a statement on Twitter. He said that his doctor performed a minimally invasive Achilles tendon repair, which, side note, I watched a random Instagram video that was served to me over the weekend of a guy doing an Achilles tendon repair on 2 pieces of celery as if they were the tendon. Fascinating. Because I would never be able to watch a surgery video. That would freak me out. But to see like how they do it on a celery, I was into it. The comments were not into it. They all were like, why are you showing us this? Me? A sports fan, I was tuned in. I was like, so that's what I would love to see that. I'll send it to you.
Send that video to me.
It's even though it's not gross, it's still gross. It still manages to make you go like, even though it's just vegetables. I'd prefer the ants on the log, A timeline for his return to competition, not immediately known. This is the same tissue that bugged him many years ago in injuries in 2011 and 2012. He's out indefinitely. Do not expect to see him play in the majors this year. First thing I have to ask you, Michelle Wolf, you have a beef with golf. What is that?
I don't think golf is a sport.
Okay. Well, and why is that?
I think golf is a skill because I think if any of these you can't be so middle-aged and out of shape and be good at a sport. I
Bowling?
think it is a skill, not a sport.
Darts.
Not a sport.
These are and if you're saying not a sport, what are they? They are activities?
Activities. They are activities that you are professional in.
I mean, all right.
I mean, chess is also an activity.
Yes, and you can be a professional in chess. I think it's a game. Yes. I feel like chess is a game.
Darts is a game.
Darts is a game.
Pool is a game.
Okay. I mean, you can
Bowling
be kind of out of shape and play baseball, I feel like.
Well, you're really not going to like my opinion on baseball.
No! No! Say it.
I know you love baseball.
I do.
And I really hate to bring this. I really even hate to bring it up. But first of all, it shouldn't be 9 innings. Let's cut it down to 3 or 5. That would be a great game. 3 or 5 innings. 5 innings max. Maybe if it needed to go into some sort of inning overtime.
Oh my god!
And then
also known as extra innings.
No, innings overtime.
We're in the innings overtime here, folks. Welcome back.
I think baseball is made up of a selection of, some of them are athletes and some of them are good at a skill.
Mm-hmm. Which brings us, that's your golf take. So you think golf is just good at a skill. You watch it or no?
You could not pay me to watch golf.
Yeah.
You could not. I think it's unbelievably boring. They all dress like substitute teachers. I really, and they're so proud of themselves. They're so proud of themselves. And I'm just like, I don't like golf courses. I mean, like the whole thing behind golf, if they're in like Scotland or something, or like Ireland where there's like a massive amount of rain and it makes sense. But there's like so many golf courses in Arizona and it makes me so angry because I'm like, there's no water.
Yeah. We don't have the water for this.
We don't have the water for this. Why are we putting golf courses
but people
in Arizona?
Go to because of bachelor parties, because you've got to go on your bachelor party somewhere.
And because old people want to play golf where it's warm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, are we calling Arizona warm? It's like hell on earth.
Arizona, for them, it's warm. For the rest of us, it's an oven.
Oh my God.
But for them, it's like, well, it's a little toasty out. And meanwhile, our skin is actually melting.
Did you?
But yeah, not a fan of golf.
Okay, fair. What about, because this story was how I found out, I did not know, that Tiger Woods is dating the ex-wife of Donald Trump Jr., Vanessa Trump.
This feels like a Florida social circle kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
It's exactly that. I think their kids go to school together.
Yeah. This I mean, they've been divorced for a while now. I can't imagine.
7 years, I believe.
I can't imagine dealing with having even to be tangentially related to Donald Trump Jr. because it's like, I don't know, this guy's like struggling to grow a beard. It's one of his many
struggling
problems
with
he's currently having.
Yep.
Yeah. But I also think Tiger Woods, maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but I think Tiger Woods has has terrible taste in women based on his history. But I will also say, I think it was wrong of us to get mad at Tiger Woods in the first place.
Okay, let's hear it.
He was married to, what's her name?
I forget. I truly forget.
Elin.
Elin, yeah. The Swedish lady. And then was just apparently cheating on her and whatever. And then we were like, I can't believe you weren't a faithful husband. You can't play golf anymore. And I don't think those two things should ever be related. I think golf is just a reason for you to leave your family on the weekend anyway. So that's just for casual players. So I think we were really unfair to Tiger Woods. I think you don't have to agree with his lifestyle, but if he wants to have sex with a bunch of other ladies, that's between him and his wife. I think she also had every right to chase him with a baseball bat.
Was it a golf club? Wasn't it the whole thing that it was a golf club?
Oh, if it's a golf club, that even more so.
Even more this. Yeah. Even better.
Yeah. Great. Good for her. And but I think it was so crazy we got mad at him.
We were really swept up in that drama.
Yeah. Didn't like Nike drop him for a while, or like
I could see. I think maybe I could see that. I don't remember, but
we don't like people who cheat on our wives.
Yeah, we were going through
the children
time.
who make our shoes don't like people who cheat on their wives.
We have a high moral standard here, and we can't have you stepping out on your wife.
But Tiger Woods does look like an athlete. He does actually look like an athlete. There's some of these younger golf guys actually look like they could be in decent shape.
Yeah, they are kind of getting
isn't there
like
a Bubba
jacked up.
in golf too?
Yeah, Bubba Watson.
Something like that. I think there's also there's a couple female golfers who look to be in excellent shape as well.
But there's also that one female golfer. I don't remember her name, so the producers can look it up if they want to. There's also that one female golfer who rips butts all the time. She just stays smoking cigs, and that's my kind of gal.
I thought you meant something about like butts, like the body part.
No, what?
And I was like, what does rip butts mean?
God, you're so
Charlie
healthy.
Hull.
Charlie Hull. Yeah, that sounds like a
She really
hockey player.
sounds like she does smoke the whole
Yeah,
time, doesn't
it's
she?
sick. It's the pictures of her and kids don't smoke, but also don't listen to this podcast probably. But man,
This is why golf isn't a sport.
Okay, so I wanted to try out a new segment with you. Because this is called we're going to call this level setting women. So every time a woman does something, you and I even just being here right now talking about sports, I'm sure someone will say we are setting women back. It's a common refrain that people are setting women back. But what I feel like we never talk about setting back from where are women at. So I thought you and I would go through a couple of news stories and decide how many steps forward or backwards these are setting women. And then we'll finish the segment with so women are -4 or +3. And we can at least decide from a baseline how women are doing. Does this sound good to you?
That sounds great.
Okay. Our first story. The inaugural Unrivaled Championship has been won by Rose. That's the name of the team, not the Rose. Rose. After they defeated Vinyl 62-54 on Monday night. The winning players on Rose each received a championship bonus of $50,000, nearly a quarter of the average salary in Unrivaled of roughly $220,000.
I don't know what Unrivaled is.
It's the women's 3-on-3 basketball league that started by the players. They started it by the players this year. Basically, the zooming out, the greater importance is that it's trying to create a standard for the treatment of the athletes. So since it's made by the players, they're giving them better accommodations and better, facilities and the money. So I would say it has women up by 5 steps, but the team names are really bugging me. And I get it. We're at a point in sports where every team name exists, but Rose and Vinyl aren't doing it for me.
Do they mean vinyl as in records?
I
think
that
what they're trying to?
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could go way better with the team names.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's hard to make a decision between 3 people. It's the whole 2 against 1 scenario.
Somebody's going to team up on somebody else.
Yeah. I think we could have done better than Rose and Vinyl. I like the prize money and the whole concept of 3-on-3. But I say the name set us back.
Yeah. But I think we were up. So I think we'll just say this is a plus. We're 3 steps up with this. Is that good? That feel good to you?
I feel like that's good. Yeah.
Great. 3 steps up. Women are doing good.
Is it women, women running the league, or is it men and women running the league?
I think it's mostly women. I mean, I don't know. I don't have their payroll here in front of me, but I think it's the players started it. So it's I think mostly
that's great.
Women. Do you want to add more than 3, or is +3 feeling good?
+3's feeling great.
Okay.
I was maybe going to take away some if it was more male led.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, this isn't really sports, but that's okay. Neither is this podcast. An American influencer left Australia on Friday after the government announced it was reviewing her visa over a video she posted of her snatching a baby wombat from its mother. Sam Jones, who describes herself as an outdoor enthusiast and hunter, made her Instagram account private on Thursday after she was widely condemned for the video. Let's take a look at this video.
Just caught a baby wombat. Look at the mother. It's like, oh, it's chasing after her.
I caught a baby wombat. Okay, Mama's right there, and she is pissed. Let's let him go.
No, he's right.
All right, let's let him go.
Wombats are a vicious animal. A vicious animal. So the fact that this girl is like, Mama, come here, Mama. You want that mother far from you. That is, you stole her baby.
I mean, also they're saying she's like, what, a wildlife enthusiast?
That's what she says.
Like, she's wearing like sandals and a sundress. What is she in, like? She doesn't look like she'd survive a day in the wilderness. It looks like that lady from Naked and Afraid with no legs could like outlast her by like a lot. I hate this lady. I hate this lady, and I think she should. And the guy laughing,
It's sick.
He sounds Australian, right?
Kinda.
They should be. I don't know. I don't know where they should have to go, but I mean, to take that little baby wombat, it's like that mom's gonna be pissed. Who knows how that baby like, is it gonna be weird about the baby because it's got like your scent on it now? I think they should like put her in a cage with other wombats and just let the wombats decide.
That's not a bad idea. Trial by wombat.
Yeah.
And look, you're talking to a lady. I've been dying to snuggle a wombat my whole life. It's something that I know is a fantasy. It's something I know that will never happen. When I was in Australia and they were like, these animals, so cute, so vicious, not something you're going to want to get close to. That's when I said, well, I'll have to let this dream go. The fact that this lady slithered over there in her Forever 21 getup and grabbed a baby on the side of the road, and then they laughed. The guy was like, look at the mom. The mom's like, no, give me my baby. Yes, the mom wants its baby you just stole from the side of the road.
It's so, I mean, I really hate both these guys. I think she's everything that's wrong with influencers, where it's just like, this will get so many views. And it's like, but it's the very wrong thing to do.
Yeah. I feel like minus, what are we thinking?
Oh, that's like a solid -6 for me or something.
Yeah. I was going to say 10. So I think, we'll do -6.
You can meet in the middle at 8.
Okay, -8.
Yeah.
So that's -8, which means we're now at -5 because we had the +3, -8. So we're at a -5, not looking good currently. Let's see what else we have. The Minnesota Frost and New York Sirens, see, those are good team names, in the PWHL, which is the new women's hockey league, it's a couple of years old, played in front of 14,288 fans Sunday night, setting an attendance record for a professional women's hockey game in the United States.
I don't know if you know this about me, big hockey fan.
I don't know this about you to the point where I think you might be joking.
No, I swear. I grew up in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and there's a farm team. There's an AHL team in Pennsylvania, and called the Hershey Bears. And we lived in this small development when I was really young, and it had like, I guess like some of the Bears players when they first moved, they'd get like some of the like townhouses nearby, and so in my neighborhood, like almost the whole Hershey Bears team lived, and my mom was really good friends with one of the players' wives, and like we got like, so I grew up going to hockey games, and my brothers played hockey.
Sick.
And just I really liked it. My brothers played, so I went to like a million hockey games growing up because I was the youngest child and had no ability to do anything on my own or had to participate in everything that they were doing.
Yes.
Which honestly was kind of fun.
I played hockey until my brother's hand-me-downs didn't fit me, and my parents would have had to buy me my own hockey equipment, and they were like, cute, not happening. You dance now. So that was that experience.
I used to like run around the hockey rink, and like we'd find like all the hidden entrances and exits and stuff like that. We had a great time.
Yeah, same.
Easily could have gotten killed.
I used to choreograph dances in the bathroom of it was Loring Arena was our local arena. It was annoying to everyone around, but I was also bored. I was a child in a freezing cold room.
Honestly, it was most of the mischief was just trying to stay warm.
Yes, 100%. People don't understand. Like when you go to a professional game, it's not as cold in there as it is in like a local arena where you're in a rink and there's like bad pizza and hot chocolate.
And a fraction of the body heat from other people because there's not that many people.
There's nobody
around.
there. The seats are cold. You have to bring a blanket to sit on or your cheeks will fall asleep.
Yeah. But my brothers also played street hockey. We lived in a cul-de-sac, and they played street hockey.
That's nice.
And I always wanted to play. And they would dress me up with like all the winter coats, and let me play goalie.
Sick.
Which wasn't, I was just happy to be included. But
you still have all your teeth, so that's good.
Yeah, I made it out.
Good. So I think this is great. I love this. This is a relatively young league. 14,288 fans. That's nothing to, I know comedians have a different understanding of the size of audiences, but that seems like a good sized audience to me.
I feel like as far as like how much we don't really like hockey in America. I mean, I know we like it, but it's not huge.
It's not our most popular sport.
Yeah. I feel like that's really, really good.
Yeah, I agree. So I think that's like a plus.
I don't know. What do you?
I don't know. Two steps, 3 steps forward. Let's do. Yeah. Okay. 4 steps forward. Good job, ladies. Which means we were -3, and then we did 8, and then or +3 -8, so that was 5, -5, and then +4. So we're -1 right now. 2 stories left. Next, we have Polish tennis star Iga Świątek. She was booed during her semifinal match against 17-year-old Mira Andreeva at the BNP Paribas Open at Indian Wells for smashing a ball back at a ball boy. Are you a big tennis gal? I don't watch a lot of tennis.
I'm a big tennis person.
All right.
But I mean, I'm big tennis in like I watch the 4 major tournaments.
Yeah. That's big
I'm
tennis.
not like,
yeah, that's fine.
I'm not watching like, Indian Wells.
That's okay.
Like,
to a casual, you are a diehard now. So you are our tennis expert in this exchange. So that video has garnered millions of views online. The ball boy then puts his hands up, moves out of the way. They booed her. She ends up losing. That was during the 3rd set. She lost in 3 sets. And she was the world number 1. And she lost to this 17-year-old Russian girl. Look, as far as like danger, I don't feel the guy was in any danger.
I feel like she's obviously a professional tennis player, and she knows where to hit the ball that it's not going to hit him. Like if she wanted to hit him, she could hit him very easily.
Right.
I think she was like pissed off, and she was like, not that ball. You should know this. But also, this is my argument for her. I feel like women in tennis have had to be very polite, especially Black women in tennis. And I would say men in tennis have gotten to be absolutely horrendous throughout time. And I wouldn't mind getting to see more women throw temper tantrums because it's frustrating. Sports are frustrating. When she's ranked number 1 in the world. She's mad about how she's playing. You're going to get a ball hit back at you. She didn't hit the guy, and she could have hit him. And she didn't yell at her opponent. She's probably just mad at herself.
You're out there all by yourself. That's the other thing about tennis that's crazy to me. You're alone.
She didn't pull like a McEnroe and just like, I don't know. I honestly think women should be able to be meaner and like more how they actually feel in the moment.
Yeah. I agree.
Than they're allowed to be.
I agree. I think obviously you always hope to be able to maintain composure. But I think that that's an unrealistic expectation when you're also expecting them to put their heart and soul into every single match. So it's like this. She's a number one and is down. She's lost 2 sets and in her third set, and it's not going well. And she was frustrated. She said that she talked about it. She said she's not, although I'm not comfortable explaining myself, she wanted to share her perspective. She said, "It's true. I expressed frustration in a way I'm not proud of. My intention was never to aim the ball at anyone, but merely to release my frustration by bouncing it on the ground. I immediately apologized to the ball boy. We made eye contact and nodded to each other when I expressed regret that it happened near him. I've seen many players bounce balls in frustration. Frankly, I didn't expect such harsh judgment. Usually I control such impulses, so half-jokingly I can say I lack experience in this and I misjudge my aim in the heat of the moment." I don't know if maybe I'm just being too... That's fine by me.
I think that's fine too. I am totally on board with this lady. I think it's frustrating. I think playing a professional sport is probably really, really hard. And she's obviously trained very, very long and hard for this. And I don't know at that moment if she was losing or if she just felt like she was going to lose to a 17-year-old, which
suck.
Can't feel great.
Which would really suck.
Yeah, in front of like a large number of people who are both cheering and booing at any given moment.
Right.
And, it's just, frustrated. Great response. I don't know who her PR person is, but well done.
I also feel like we do this thing now where we want to keep getting some sort of justice against somebody that we've perceived as slighting us, or in terms of a woman, it's usually being annoying, where we're like, not enough, I want more punishment. It's like she got booed and then she lost. So now we can tie a nice little bow on that. She's apologized. It was like, I was expressing frustration. The boo happened. She had to deal with that. That's gotta suck. And she lost. So like 2 bad things have happened to her after the thing that people are mad about. I feel like drop it. This isn't like this has done. Run its course. Everything has happened, and goodbye to it. So it makes me almost want to say zero steps. I just do you think maybe this is just like a women stayed put on this? I don't think this advances us further, because I bet there's people who are going to stay mad at this and judge women for it. But I don't think it sets us back, because I don't think she did anything wrong.
I personally now, and this could be a controversial opinion.
Let's hear it.
But I personally feel like this actually gives us a +1, because
let's do it.
I want, I think women are human people who get frustrated and should be allowed to show frustration.
Controversial opinion, she said. Controversial opinion.
Yeah, controversial opinion. Women are humans. Did she exhibit it in the most, what's it called? Sportsmanship way, or sportsmanly?
Well, they don't call it sport. They don't call it sportswomanly. So I don't think she's held to those rules.
Like, probably not. But I also think none of us play professional sports.
No.
And that, especially like most of the people in that audience don't play professionally and have no idea the amount of pressure she's under. And let it fly. Let it fly. I want to see more women who are angry. I hate this whole trope of, no, I'm composed.
Yeah.
I'm composed, I'm happy, or I'm sad.
If we can't see it in sports, where can we see? Like, let a woman let her rage out. She's upset. Yeah. She's frustrated. Why not? I agree. So +1, I'm comfortable with that, which means going into our last story, currently, internationally, women are at a zero or a 1.
We're at a 0.
A 0.
We're at a 0, which feels correct.
Feels good. And going into this last story, this could go either way. A 17-year-old midwifery student has become the first woman to win the tractor pull at one of New Zealand's most popular annual agricultural events. Ella Martin was the only woman to compete in this year's tractor pull at the Northland Field Days in Dargaville, which our producer, Chris, is Australian. And I feel like, I know New Zealand isn't Australia, but I feel like he must know what the Northland Field Days in Dargaville are. It's a long-standing feature of the volunteer-run not-for-profit organization, which attracted over 20,000 visitors earlier this month. Martin competed in the event, which involves competitors driving a tractor over a 100-meter course, pulling a weighted sledge. The event tests competitors' tractor driving skills, their ability to make the appropriate gear changes up the track, obtaining the best pulling speed, and the fastest time. Martin's competitors were all men, including her boyfriend's father, a previous winner of the competition, and the son of the organizer. She learned to do this watching her brothers. She started when she was 12. She has older brothers who do it. She said a lot of the people that she competed against were friends of hers. I assume also maybe friends of her brothers. And she hopes that this inspires more women to get behind the wheel of a tractor. This is big.
Well, I mean, I like this lady for a lot of reasons. First of all, she's 17 and she's training to be a midwife.
Yeah, I guess that's, she's a student. She's majoring in midwifery.
So first of all, I love that. I love that for her. I had a baby and I used a midwife. Had my baby at home and a midwife and a doula.
I have a lot of questions. I won't ask any of them here. I feel like maybe I'll save those for text.
So I love a midwife. I think it's a very, very honorable profession. I feel like this woman, as she's also whatever she's doing on these tractor games or whatever.
Yep.
She seems like she just seems super.
Yeah.
She seems super. I really like her. I hope she's happy with her life. And
I feel like as little sisters, we are qualified to name this girl potentially Little Sister of the Year. I
feel like that's very fair.
She picked up this hobby watching her brothers do it and was like, I'll try it. I think this was her second year in the competition and she won it. She showed up and just beat them all. She beat her boyfriend's dad. I would love, that's such a power move to son your boyfriend's father.
I just hope all these men are like not mean to her.
I know. I hope my first thought was like, hope they were supportive and chill. Doubt,
and
but
not
hope.
Like, oh, she's cheating and women shouldn't be allowed to do this.
Test her tractor.
Whatever. But because, as I've talked about for several different stories, I mean, I had to watch my brothers do a lot of things. And then I either got kicked out of the sport or I was never going to play ice hockey. There wasn't any women playing. There was no girls ice hockey team when I was growing up. So I never got to do the whole thing. My brothers, they wouldn't even let me play video games with them.
I was going to say the closest I've come to this.
So many video games.
The closest I've come to this was watching my brother play video games. We used to do the thing where you would alternate, and then when it was my turn, I would die so quickly that I eventually was like, I'll just watch you play because I was a little girl. And now I play video games with my brother, like remotely on headset. And there are a couple games I'm better than him at. And to me, that makes me feel like Ella Martin, where I'm like, yeah, what's up? I can do this too. Yeah, thanks.
I think I watched my brothers play Mike Tyson's Punch Out and Contra. My brother used to play Contra all the time. And I could like walk you through every single level of that game, having never played it myself.
Crazy. That's very funny. All right. So Ella Martin, Little Sister of the Year. Maybe I'm just feeling crazy. Maybe I'm just high on life here. I'd go +10.
Yeah, I give it a +10 as well. I like this for her.
I like this for us.
Yeah, I think it's also the midwife thing that's really bringing this along for me because she's like in this total boys club and in her heart, she's like, I want to help women.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like that.
And I agree with her. I hope this inspires more women to join the competition. I can't wait to see how the people of Dargaville handle that, how they grapple with that.
That sounds like a real sheepy place. Feels like it's one of those, because there's a ton of sheep in New Zealand, and Dargaville sounds like it's really full of sheep.
Full of them. Well, that's it. If you're keeping track of women and how we're doing, just know, I don't know where we started, but we are up. City Girls up. We are up 10 points right now. So congrats to us. It may not feel, it may not feel like we're up, but the numbers, they don't lie. And they say that we're up. Speaking of up, our time's up. Michelle Wolf, thank you so much for being here, for beaming in via satellite. Let the people know where they can find you if they want more Michelle Wolf, because who doesn't?
Yeah, look me up on Punch Up. I have a podcast you can subscribe to there where I do, essentially it's just me doing a brand new stand-up show every single week. I'm writing like 40 new minutes of material
What is
every week.
wrong with you?
It's really a terrible thing I've given myself. It's so much work and I need it to be successful so I can hire a writer or two before I die. But if you like jokes, you like stand-up, subscribe to that because I do think it's very funny and I'm having a good time doing it.
It is very funny.
And you can watch it. I record the podcast in front of a live audience, and then you can either live stream it at the time I'm recording, or you can watch the stream on demand.
Which is big because I think there's a lot of people who would be stand-up fans but who are like inside people. And this feels like a way to watch live stand-up but not have to leave your house. So if
you can watch live stand-up from the comfort of your own computer or phone or whatever your preferred device
and
is.
high quality stand-up because, Michelle Wolf, high quality stand-up comedian, also probably wrote most of the jokes that you all thought was funny at whatever roast it was you were watching. So, you're already a Michelle Wolf fan. You just don't even know it. Thank you for being here, Michelle. You're the greatest. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Okay, big thanks to Michelle Wolf. Love her. We've reached our C block where we find out what to watch this week if you wanted to watch some sports, brought to us by our wonderful producer, Chris. Chris, what do we got?
All right, the first thing that we have this week, the NWSL, the National Women's Soccer League, kicked off last Friday. This week, week 2, we have a game on Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. That is the Portland Thorns versus the Angel City FC. That game will be on Prime Video or SiriusXM FC, channel 157. The Thorns in the first week of the season lost to KC, current 3-1, while Angel City, they drew 1-1 with San Diego Wave.
Nice. Friday at 10 on Prime Video. I love that. I remember the earlier seasons of NWSL trying to find where it was. So that seems easy enough.
Yeah, I think Prime Video have every Friday night they have that game on Prime Video, and you also can watch a lot of games for free on NWSL Plus. They carry most of the games throughout the season as well.
See, now I'm confused again.
Get that checked out.
NWSL Plus is free?
That's what it said.
Huh. Well, then plus. All right. What else? What else we got? Oh my God, I'm so glad you put this in here. I was going to message you to put this in here, and I forgot to. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I'm
the same
so happy. I'm so happy. Tell everybody.
NCAA Women's Ice Hockey Tournament Final is on this Sunday. The championship will be played at 4 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. You can watch that game on ESPNU. We don't know who'll be playing in that matchup just yet because the semifinals are on Friday. They will be taking place between number 3 Cornell versus number 2 Ohio State. And then the second semifinal is number 4 Minnesota against number 1 Wisconsin. The Frozen Four matches will all be played in Minneapolis, Minnesota, which was made famous to me by Mighty Ducks 2. That was the first time I heard about Minneapolis, Minnesota, and every time I hear the words Minneapolis, Minnesota, I think of that scene with Gordon Bombay getting all his players to stand up and tell them where they're from.
You don't think of the mall? I would think of the mall.
No.
But they skate through the mall.
Oh, as in that's the scene from Mighty Ducks that you think about? No, I love the Gone Bombay, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Charlie Conway, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Okay. I like the mall.
So check that out. Check that out on ESPNU.
Or ESPN Plus if you want to watch Sunday. The semifinals.
If you want to watch the semifinals, ESPN Plus on Friday.
A 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. How interesting is that? That's who made it to the Final Four. Okay, and then this last one.
Number 3. Hey, baseball's back, Katie.
Very
Baseball
exciting.
is back. We have the MLB Tokyo series going on at the moment. We had game 1 this morning between the Dodgers and the Cubs. Game 2 will be tomorrow morning, 6:10 a.m. Eastern on FS1 or SiriusXM channel 176. So you're going to have to set your alarm pretty early if you're on the East Coast, even earlier if you're on the West Coast, 6:10 a.m. Eastern. Roki Sasaki will be the starter for the Dodgers, Justin Steele for the Cubs. Dodgers beat the Cubs 4-1 in Game 1 this morning. But make sure you check it out because we got some actual baseball.
Yeah, real baseball games. These count. They're happening before, opening day on American soil, but these games do count. They're real. here's the thing with the game being sped up now. Like this morning, there was a baseball game. You know me, not waking up at 6:10, but I'm already waking up earlier than I normally would to do this podcast. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll catch the end of it. By 8:15, this game was over. So the odds of me catching that I love baseball. The odds of me waking up tomorrow, catch that, pretty slim. But I'm excited that it's happening. And I know a lot of you are probably up because you have kids and whatnot. So baseball, very good background viewing. So you can toss that on as you get the kids out the door or whatever it is you folks with real jobs and families do. That is it. That was a good list, Chris. Well done. Well put together. That's it for our Tuesday episode this week. What a fun one. A jam-packed, fun episode. Thank you all for listening, for sending us your emails. Don't forget that's casualswithkatienolan@gmail.com. Our voicemail is 646-801-0043. And on IG and TikTok, we are at Casuals the Podcast. We appreciate all of the support. It's been so cool watching just conversations happen and people say they feel represented in sports media content in a way they haven't before. That's what we're here for. It's why we do it. So thank you guys for the feedback. I love you. I mean it. And see you on Thursday. Bye.